7 students from diverse background, ages, gender, ability, cultural backgrounds are coming today to share their challenges and successes. Everything that you see and hear today has been decided and designed by the students. Individually, they have drafted, edited, and revised the content for this session with a lot of excitement. Now, how often do you hear such an excitement for a writing assignment? To a point that I had to really ask them, we need to cut down some details in the interest of time. We only have 1 hour. I am your moderator. In my past life, which is like 8 months ago, I was a former teacher. I'm an inclusion facilitator with an amazing team of inclusion collaborative at SCCOE. And with me today, I have my teammates, Sandhya and Sung, is in the back, managing in-person and Zoom audiences interaction. So at this point, I would love to know who's in the audience. So in Zoom, if you would like to put in your text, what's the role that you play? And in person, if I call out the grade level, if you want to nod or raise your hand and let me know who's in the audience. So preschool to 5th grade. Oh, yes. Okay. Middle school teachers. High school teachers. Post-secondary. Special ed teachers. Oh, yes. Therapist. Coaches. Administrators. And we obviously have parents and siblings. And if I don't call you, you're all obviously are inclusioneers. So the goal for the session today, I'm going to actually try this one. The goal for the session today is to bring multiple perspectives under one roof, to hear from those we serve, and most importantly, shift mindset and bring awareness about intersectionality in our students. Now, at this point, I'm curious to hear what brought you in here today. So you have a couple of choices. You have sticky note to reflect on what are you curious about? Or you may talk to a partner, or you may raise your hand and we'll bring a mic over and share. And Zoom audience, if you can please do that. What are you curious about? What brought you here today to the session? And I would like to, in the interest of time, take a couple of responses to hear what are you curious about? Oh, yes. Do we see an enthusiastic raise of hand? It's like asking your students, what do you really want to learn? Yeah, I want to, everybody raise your hand.
I'm not going to come out and call on you, I promise. I'm using proximity as it's not working. What are you curious about today, my friend? Yes, you. Yeah, that's because I know him, I can do this.
Thank you, Stephen. Thank you for saving us.
I'm here just to understand how I can be a better person to think about all individuals. I say selfishly have 4 kiddos, but I think about the families that we interact with. And in my job, I work with Lakeshore, as some of you know, we interact on different levels, and trying to understand all lenses and understanding for all learners is important to me, not just for my work, but also think about my family.
Mm-hmm. Thank you for sharing. And I see in the chat, we have special education teacher, kindergarten teachers. Anybody else want to share? Oh, thank you. Thank you. Wait time always works. It always works, even for adults.
I think our keynote this morning told us, he used lots of numbers, but I just think sometimes we're at the 30,000 foot, which I know he used different numbers with his, the diagram we were looking at, but we often are working at making decisions at the 30,000 foot level, and we have to be at the ground level, and there's no better place to be than hearing it from students, first and foremost.
Mhm. Thank you. Thank you for connecting with that, hearing from those we serve. Oh, God, that triggered an effect, and there's another audience participation. Isn't that great?
Hi, what I'm most curious about is what works for you as students and what hasn't worked and why.
Thank you. Okay, so how are we going to meet that goal? So here's the agenda for today. In a little bit, I'm going to be welcoming panelists. And after that, each panelist is going to introduce themselves. Now, this is a panelist discussion. Traditionally, a panelist introduction is done by a moderator. And since we are here to hear from those we serve, they're going to share and introduce themselves. And after that, we're going to get into panel discussion, where I'll have a question for each of the panelists. And between a couple of questions, I want you to get interactive. And when you hear students' responses to my questions, I would love to hear what stood out for you. So you'll see a slide, it says audience interaction, and I would love for you and you to share the energy, kind of like how we want as a teachers to have that energy from the students, right? So if you can do that and participate and engage that, I'll appreciate that. And at the end, we'll have closing. Oh, this one, okay. As an inclusioner, we believe in universal design for learning. So as you are taking information in, participating and engaging, you have an option to stand, sit down, roll on the floor, jump up, break the windows. No, don't do that. Just try to stay in this session as much. That's my hope for at least this is for an hour. And so are the panelists. So, prolonged sitting might not be effective, so they have a choice. And you have a choice to participate using reflecting the sticky note, share with a partner, or share it out loud. So universal design for learning. All right. So you ready? You're ready to bring, did everybody drink coffee? Oh, sorry. Okay, so without much ado, I would want to call the panelist who decided to call themselves superhero of the Neuroverse. I said, what should we call this panel? We need a name for the session. We have to put it in our app or name a session. Let's call ourselves superhero. It's collective decision. So our first panelist is the youngest and panelist. She loves to swim, be a cheerleader, sing, and is a green belt in Taekwondo. Please welcome Heavenly. Our next panelist enjoys building with Legos and role-playing video games. Please put your hands together for Axel. Our next panelist also enjoys building and making movies and dancing. Please give it up for Ben. Our next panelist enjoys making digital art. Put your hands together for Mara. Our next panelist enjoys video games and want to get into game designing. Please join your hands together to welcome Alexia. Our next panelist comes from a home of 8 neurodiverse kids. She loves fashion. I know, right? prompting questions right now. She loves fashion designing and has already made 2 prom dresses. Please put your hands together for Hannah. Do you remember? Our final panelist also enjoys making clothes and jewelry. Please give it up for Leela. Great. I'm feeling much better because you're here. This is my first time. What about you all? Oh, you like feel like the first time. Let me get my cheat sheet. Okay, so we're going to start with panelist introduction. And as I talked about the UDL, Universal Design of Learning, they had choices to either make videos if they wanted to share who they are. And we're going to go in this order. And Heavenly decided to make a video. So we're going to hear about Heavenly. Right, Heavenly? Okay.
My name is Heavenly. I'm 6 years old. I am in first grade at Alexander Rose Elementary.
We're gonna just see if we can turn it up a bit here. It's already outside.
My name is Heavenly. I'm 6 years old. I am in first grade at Alexander Rose Elementary, and I had autism. When I'm not at school, I like singing, cheerleading, swimming, and I am green belt in Taekwondo.
You chose to make a video, but do you want to say hi, hello to everybody? What do you think? Okay, okay. All right. We are going to next hear from Axel and share your superpowers, your differences, your diagnosis, your cultural, any information you want to share.
All right. So I am visually impaired. Oh, wait, hold on. Hi, my name is Axel. I am 11 years old and I am in 5th grade at Leach Elementary School in the Union School District. I am here today to talk about what makes me different. First, I have an issue with my vision. It is called Stargardt's disease. Stargardt's disease is the most common inherited macular degeneration disease. It is characterized by, let me just rephrase that. Stargardt's disease is the most common inherited single gene retinal disease. It is characterized by macular degeneration that begins in childhood, resulting in progressive loss of vision. And that is from Wikipedia. Here are some examples of how I see. I was diagnosed in 2019. I was in 1st grade. I was playing soccer, but it was hard to spot the ball to kick it. Because my central field of vision was blurry, still I went on to win the season with my team. That's not it. I can ride my bike and play video games, but I do have to work harder than the other kids at school just to keep up with my class. I would like teachers to know that it can be very upsetting for some kids to learn, or it might take longer for that student because something is going on that the student can't control or even knows about. Because it took a long time for me to get diagnosed. One of the challenges I face is watching something on the TV in class. I have to get up close to the TV, and this is distracting to the other students in class and disconcerting to the teacher. Everyone asks me if glasses will help. They will not. This becomes very annoying and I get upset. So I am glad to be here today to explain how my vision is affected and how you can help people like me. Thank you.
Thank you, Axel. Axel, I had to do some research because this is the first time I had heard about Stargardt, and it seems like there are 1 in 10,000 children in the United States living with Stargardt. Next up, Ben, would you like to share about which grade and cultural background? Okay.
Hello, everyone. I'm glad to be here. My name is Ben. I'm in 7th grade. I'm from Colombia. One of the things I do in Colombia is spend time with my aunt and play with my friends. Another thing I do in my culture in Colombia is dance and go to people's birthday parties. But I don't do that anymore because I still go to people's birthday party now, but my mom is from Colombia and my dad is from Connecticut. Very obvious. The subjects that I like are ELA, social studies. I like science, it's pretty good. I'm still working on math. I'm getting better at it, like kind of 0.5%, but I went to a bilingual school to kinder to 5th grade. I went pretty well. For middle school, I went to a regular middle school and bilingual. I speak Spanish and English. Thank you.
Bienvenido. Did I get it right? I love it when students correct you. Ben, I loved how you said that I'm working on getting better at math. So thank you. Mara, you are next.
Hello, testing. Can everyone hear me? All right. Hello, accountants, gendered individuals, and plastic water bottles. My name is Mara. I am in 8th grade, and I am allegedly part of an OSDD system. I have been going to the Indigo program, actually the same school that Ben goes to, for the past 8 to 9 years now. I've been here since kindergarten, which is pretty neat. I have been diagnosed with a variety of things such as autism, depression, and anxiety, as well as other things that we are trying to get diagnosed, such as OSDD, Tourette's, and a few other unrelated things. like autism is a developmental disorder and has affected my life greatly, which is what I'm going to be talking about here. And it does affect how I learn, especially with how I have a habit of hyperfixating on things, where I kind of just focus on really one specific topic. And it's pretty interesting. My current hyperfixation is Hobie Brown from Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, which is pretty cool. And yeah, another part of my brain is I have a dopamine deficiency, which is caused by ADHD and further perpetuated by depression, which does give me a really low sense of self-esteem, which can actually be helped in the classrooms as well as outside of school by people around me. Really depends. And it's a pretty cool thing to think about.
All right, ADHD is the most common coexisting condition with autism.
Yep,
Mhm,
such as depression and anxiety also go together.
mhm. All right, next is Alexia. Alexia, use your mic. Yes, you have to.
Is it working? How do I work it? Okay. Hello everyone. My name is Alexia Kinney. I'm 16 years old and in 11th grade, going to Summit Tahoma. I'm diagnosed with autism and ADHD. I really like doing multimedia art and programming. That's about it.
Alexia, you went to a social emotional learning school too, right? SEL, social emotional learning. The answer is just yes. Just say it. Okay, next is Hannah. Oh, okay.
Okay, this is working. Before I introduce myself, I'd like to say this quote I found. I don't suffer from dyslexia. I live with it and I work with it. I suffer from the ignorance of people who think they know what I can and cannot do. Okay. I think this quote highlights how important it is for teachers and peers to be educated on learning disabilities like dyslexia, dyscalculia, dysgraphia, dyspraxia, ADHD, ADD, and anything else under the umbrella of neurodiversity. My name's Hannah. I'm in 11th grade. My parents are from Ireland, and I've had an IEP since kindergarten for my dyslexia and dyscalculia. My school experience has been teaching teachers about my IEP and how it levels the playing field, which can be hard when they don't understand when coming from a mind of when they don't understand a neurodiverse. I wish they could see that I'm trying and I'm trying to keep up with everybody else. My teachers often view my IEP as an advantage rather than a tool.
Did you hear some approval on there? Did you, people, educators resonated with what you just said? Yeah, and I do want to point out that approximately 5% of elementary school students are diagnosed with dyscalculia, and roughly about 50% of students with dyscalculia also have the difficulties in readings. Okay, next up is Leela.
Hello. Okay, it's working. Hi, my name is Leela. I am a special needs student. I am in second year college at West Valley College. I was born in USA, aka Los Gatos. My family is from India. I was diagnosed very early on as I was not meeting the standard milestones that doctors would expect to see. My parents were told that I would never be able to walk or talk, and would be required to have constant help throughout my life. However, through therapy, both inside and outside of school, and the experiences that I had in school, I feel that I have become very independent, but I have to have some more work to do to achieve my aim of living on my own apartment with a job and a good social life.
Leela, I like how you said walk and talk, and look at you speaking to all the educators today here, huh?
Yeah, I
Says a
know,
lot.
it's crazy.
It is crazy, huh? Okay. Anything you want to add part of the introduction?
Oh, it's crazy how far I came, and I hope that all the other kids can do the same thing that I did and everybody else here did. So, there's a question.
Wait for the discussion. Pause for a second. We'll move on to the panel discussion now. And
Okay.
yeah. Thanks, Leela. And we're going to get into the panel discussion now. And since our theme for the conference is innovation, I want to start with the first question is what are some of the ideas or practices that helped you engage in learning? Ben, you want to share some of the ideas that your teachers have used that helped you learn?
Sure. One of the new ideas that helped me learn in science is when my teacher taught us how to extract things to like DNA or something like that. Extracting bananas and strawberries. I like bananas and I like strawberries. Pretty good. They're really healthy for you. Basically what you do is you mash it up into a cup, and then you like put water in it, and like you have to find like the DNA or something like that that I learned. It was a different way of teaching me, because I like doing something with my hands and keeping track of visual instructions that we had to follow. Another lesson I remembered helping me that learn was I was really excited about it. I was doing an experiment. Wait for it. Elephant toothpaste. Yeah. Baking soda, citric acid, and hydrogen peroxide. Yay. Was trying to find which ingredient makes it explode. I was motivated when I got to do experiments and try different things and to be a science detective. Not really.
So Ben, did through that process, you like the ideas, you already kind of talked about it. Did you learned how you learned the best?
Yeah, I learned like kind of like learning how to do things that like our teacher is telling us to do, and then doing it while we have the instructions in front of us. And
You like the visual instruction part of it?
yeah.
Mhm. You also kind of mentioned about the mystery part of it, the surprise in the lesson.
Yeah.
You like that part of it? So that tells you what you learned.
Mhm.
Okay. Hannah, you want to share at the high school, what are the innovative practices that has helped you overcome your challenges of dyslexia?
Yeah, okay. So one of the things I've used is AI. And AI might seem like a shortcut for neurotypicals, but for someone like me, I've used AI like ChatGPT to summarize books like East of Eden to prepare for Socratic seminars in AP Lang, which is AP English. And AI isn't a shortcut for everybody. For the dyslexic community, it can be a tool to help us keep up with the rest of our classes, especially in a book like East of Eden, which is full of beautiful elements, but the detailing can be hard to follow at times. And another thing that's helped me is what my school calls tutorial. And it's a period to talk to my teachers, do homework, or just take a mental break from the day. It gives me time to talk to my teachers and ask them questions because I have a difficulty raising my hand and asking in front of everybody. As well as it gives me a break to listen to music and sit with my friends in peace after having a 30-minute class, 90-minute.
What would you then say to, there's so much discussion about AI. What would you say to people who might be an opponent of AI? fusing in the classroom or as in education?
So I know for a lot of people, AI is a shortcut, so they don't have to do as much work and they don't have to like write their essays. But so there should definitely be some regulations because even if a neurodiverse people are using it as a tool, there's always going to be that handful of people who are using it to their advantage, which reflects badly on the people using it as a tool.
Thank you. We're going to move on to the next question, and it is about challenges. Axel, you want to share about some of the challenges? You kind of started talking about it and elaborate a little bit more about in your school experience. What are some of the challenges that you have experienced?
Sure.
Do you have a mic on there? Wait, Ben, can you share the mic, buddy? Thank you. Oh, it's so cute. Thank you, Mara. Best.
Some of the challenges I've faced are arguments with my friends, which can end well, but sometimes not. And distractions in class. Like I kind of get focused on one thing. This has happened in the past. But now in school I mostly stay focused on the task at hand. So like say for example, reading. I focus on how getting to the book and reading it. Another thing is, well, of course I struggle to see, but it gets a bit more annoying when people tell me that I'm too close. They say, you're too close, it's bad for your eyes. And I had to say back, I had to say back, I'm visually impaired. But my ADHD, however, I didn't touch on that today.
Time to do that.
Can help me in fun ways, like my creativity. So I'm going to sum up it right now. Thank you.
For sharing that, Axel. I like how, ADHD there, we have strengths, because that's what you wanted to call the session, all of you, the superheroes of the Neuroverse, right, kids? Right? You have your strengths. So we look at the strength, not what's missing, right? Okay. Alexia, would you like to share some of the challenges that you have faced as part of your diagnosis in the process and the
My struggles have been a lack of early diagnosis. The importance of early diagnosis is shown as I was diagnosed early on in 3rd grade with ADHD, but my autism wasn't diagnosed until I was 15. And so it really affected the support I received. Because when I got diagnosed in 3rd grade with ADHD, I got a lot of support and I got my IEP started. And if that hadn't happened, I wouldn't have been getting a lot of support. And I got even more support in December last year when I received the diagnosis. So what helped me was that my teacher observed me when I was in 3rd grade, and she had recognized the symptoms and brought it to my parents' attention. And so my parents could take the important actions of talking to doctors about it. And so that's always important, to get education on child development and the symptoms of common neurodiverse disabilities or any kind of thing like that, so you can recognize it and help kids get diagnoses.
So if teachers would know what are the symptoms to look for that could have helped you do an early diagnosis of autism and get you support earlier on. Mhm. What stood out for you as you heard? Did you look at that, Heavenly? Did you like that pug? Did you like it? Yeah, the crystal. I put it just for you. Yeah. Alright. What stood out? You heard, Ben, Axel, Hannah talk about, and Alexia. What stood out? What is the connection that you're making with the students you are serving? And I would love, yes, one.
Take one. I'm just looking at time.
Yes,
I'm the bad
time.
guy.
I could just stay here forever because I just love doing this. But yes, one and the one question in Zoom,
Yep.
if you have, like, what is standing out for you? What are the connections you're making? What you heard from student response right now?
More question. Yeah.
Hi, my name is Carolyn, and I'm a third grade teacher. And I'm proud of all of you that you are all awesome. And you must be so supported. But what do you say to the kids out there that are not as supported? And how can you guys help them help us adults get them help? Oh, it's hard to speak in front of everybody.
Yeah, go for it.
There's a lot of things that I can say to the kids who don't get as much support, but it's not the most appropriate for here. So instead, what I'm going to say is keep fighting, don't give up. You deserve the support and accommodations that you need. Because, like, of course you do. Who doesn't? That's
Okay, nothing in the chat I see. So I'm going to move on to the next question. And for Leela, you talked about that you were in a special education throughout, but you also had an experience to be in a general education classroom. How did it benefit you to be with typical peers in a general education classroom?
I think it just helped me talk to people with like normal kids and to just be in the other like classroom to just like have more friends, like talk about stuff that teenagers talk about. Just hang out with friends, go get coffee, go like around the street to like have lunch and then come back to school and then have little groups to spend time with each other and like that too. Yeah. Okay.
So it helped you grow
Yeah.
socially, make friends.
Yeah, it helped me make friends.
Mhm. What did you learn about yourself being in a general classroom as a learner? Like what works for you? What things work for you as a learner in the classroom?
I'm not really sure. I think just communicating well and communicating with my teachers, like what I need help on, and like just experiencing what other people are doing just to do it for myself and just to look at what everybody's doing.
From other peers, yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, Leela. And next, from Heavenly in the video and form and share about what was her experience?
Hi, my name is Heavenly. I'm 6 years old. I'm in first grade at Alexander Rose Elementary. So what I learned in preschool was some songs, books, and a lot of other kinds of stuff. We did arts and crafts. what I enjoyed about preschool was we learned a lot of stuff and at recess.
What did you like doing at recess? Who did you like to hang out at recess?
I like to hang out on the swings. When I was like when I was 3, I didn't even know how to do the swings, but when I got to 4 years old, I know how to do the swings.
Who did you usually play at the swings with? Do you remember your friends in preschool?
Valentina, Emma, Luna. Luna is still in my school and Emma, so yeah.
Do you remember your teachers? Who were your teachers?
Miss Viva, Miss Lena, Miss Loida, and Miss Loida. I saw her in kindergarten still. Miss Rasta.
So Heavenly, you are a green belt in Taekwondo. Do you want to say something about it? How does it feel? Do you like it?
Yeah. Yes.
Are you very happy when you got Taekwondo?
Yes.
Do you think that helps you at school when you do things like that outside? You do so many things outside the school. Does that help you a lot at school?
Kind of.
Yeah. Hey. Our next question is so this is all the things Heavenly got to do being part of inclusion classroom from preschool. Oh, and there. I may add that, she's now completely in the general ed classroom, so early inclusion. Okay, okay, oh my gosh, okay, never mind, no audience interaction, moving on. Mara, would you like to share what are some of the things your teachers did to sense of belonging in your classroom?
Well, it's less a matter of specific actions, but more just how they treat me in general and the fact that they treat me like a human being in the first place. I didn't mention this earlier in my introduction, but I am a transgender individual. I'm transmasc, FTM, which means that I was born female presenting. And I realized that, oh, wait, no, I'm not a woman, never mind. And now I'm a guy. I am starting testosterone injections on the 31st. Well, there's no specific reason for it. It's just so that way I could show up to the injection clinic in my Halloween costume. But I have gotten my name changed on school records. And the fact that my teachers have taken the time to learn and use my preferred name and my preferred pronouns that's just really special to me. They could have just passed off and been like, oh, it's too hard to learn or whatever, blah, 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 blah. But no, they actually tried. And that's something that's really special to me. And like, just even without the whole transmasc thing, the fact that they still take the time to explain things when I don't understand them, because I sometimes don't process things correctly because my brain doesn't like me very much. And like the fact that my teachers know that like I have a habit of dissociating because of OSDD and just not being able to handle the loudness of a classroom just in general. They're totally chill with like me taking breaks and like just listening to loud music through my headphones, or like even just like going out of the classroom and just like sitting at like a bench or something outside while I get my social battery back. Like those little things that they do for me, even though I don't have like a 504 or anything, it's special. It's good. And yeah.
Yeah. And I'm going to quickly add here, because I happen to be Mara's teacher since the 6th grade, and I'm going to say it out loud here, that coming from India, it took me time to get used to the pronouns and the change of name. So I was telling Mara that I'm going to say it out loud and say that I had to train my mind train my mind. That's what they want. That's what it want. I'm going to train because so I had to do my own cultural shift to acknowledge that. And, so thank you, Vara. Okay, Hannah, what do you wish your teachers knew?
Okay. One thing I wish teachers knew is that I found that dyslexic people with IEPs or just my friends with 504s feel undeserving of their accommodations because we are made to feel this way by ignorance. I feel that I have been told that it is giving me an unfair advantage when it is truly just leveling the playing field. It is hard to hear my siblings, friends, and myself talk about how we feel about something we cannot fix. And I think that if our peers and teachers were more aware of our struggles, we would feel less alone and feel like we were being understood. I wish teachers knew that it doesn't help me, them, or other people around us when I feel so alone because no one understands what I'm fighting for. I have given copies of my accommodations and am still asked why I need these accommodations. This leaves me feeling like I am not valued. One thing teachers should understand is that I am trying. There are days where I wish I was neurotypical and I just want it to be easy for me. Yes, I know how hard a teacher's job is, but they don't seem to see how hard it is for a student in a classroom of people who don't understand my struggles or aren't educated on the fact that I may not look like I have a learning disability, but I have one. I think that teachers feel as if IEP students are making their jobs harder, but imagine if we had to live and work with this and our brain fighting us on every step of the way. Some days taking all of our energy. I hope that one day everyone can recognize the challenges I face. For example, seeing letters the wrong way and mistaking them for other letters, as well as numbers, in a room full of people who don't understand dyslexia. It would make me feel less alone in my diagnosis if other people were educated on the topic. I've been told I was stupid and laughed at for my horrendous spelling when I'm having an exceptionally dyslexic day, as I call it. I wish dyslexic people like myself didn't feel like they had to mask their dyslexia for fear of being teased or bullied. Something that has encouraged me to learn this school year was that my IEP Lang teacher commended me on my being so upfront about my IEP with her on the first day of school. Every year before the first day of school, I send out an email introducing myself and my diagnosis, and then on the first day, give my IEP accommodations page. My teacher told me how bold of me it was to take an AP English class with my dyslexia, knowing it was going to fight me.
Based on how it helped her being in a general education classroom. Now, I want to quickly hear from, how do you think it helps? So we call the neurotypical, and I keep questioning myself, like, should it be neurotypical or should it be just chronological age? Because neurotypical means same brain. So, just your chronological age peers in your classroom, how do this help them having you around in the same classroom from that perspective?
I think, having dyslexia is really hard sometimes. Seeing letters like lowercase d's and b's as one another, and numbers during math like 6 and 9. And even when I spell one word, I mean another word, so autocorrect doesn't catch it because it's an actual word. I have to fight being able to learn at a rate everyone else is at, makes it harder for me. I have been lucky enough to find an amazing group of friends who work and try to understand my dyslexia and how they can help me. For example, my best friend takes the time to read my essays, and when I'm having a hard time putting it all together, to make sure I actually put punctuation and grammar and don't get marked down a grade. Another example is my other best friend used to talk without thinking and made jokes about things about my spelling, knowing it hurt my feelings, but he just doesn't understand. But he now understands. And after explaining my dyslexia a few times, he understands it for the most part.
Thank you, Hannah. That brings to closing. And if you want to reflect on a sticky note, your thoughts, reflection, takeaway that you have from this panel discussion. We do have a closing ceremony. And so if you can just reflect on a sticky note, or if you want to raise your hand, share with your partner next to you. Anybody wants to share? Okay, oh, go ahead, Paul. Oh, yes. Ben, what did you?
Thank you, every one of you guys, for sharing your experience. It's funny, the thing I was thinking was just in the 45 minutes that we got to know you, just a snippet of your lives. The more you talked, the more you're just like any other elementary school kid, high school kid, college kid. The similarities by far outweigh the differences. And I was just impressed with how grounded every single one of you is, and the way you face your neurodiverse varied abilities is very impressive. My question for, I guess, everyone here would be, just how important is it to you all to be seen and to use the sports term, to be considered part of the team?
So the question is, how important is it to be part of the team? Is that right, Paul?
Maybe you can have one student share.
Anna, you want to try it? Or anybody?
I find it really important to me because I do have a habit of craving friendship since I'm so used to having people around me within Headspace, which is part of the OSDD. And for those of you who don't know, the Headspace is it's like a room inside your brain where all the people kind of live. And yeah, I'm so used to having people around me in the Headspace that when I don't have people around me in the outer world, it feels weird. And knowing that I do have people within my circle that I can be around whenever I'm the one fronting, it feels nice. It feels like I'm belonging, you know? That's all I have to say.
Okay. I think it's important that I feel seen because I have 8 younger siblings, and I watched a few of them not have any friends and not have anyone to talk to and not understand what they were going through. And it was hard for me to watch, especially because I couldn't do anything. So I think it's really important to be seen. And I've been really, really lucky with the people I met and the people who tried to understand what I'm going through. Yeah.
Okay. For the question. At this point, I'm going to invite Dr. Marianne Dewan, County Superintendent of Schools. Guess what? You get to get a certificate and a picture with her. What?
Wow, thank you so much. I just want to say, first of all, thank you for sharing your knowledge, your wisdom, and your experience with us. I think you've made us all much better at who we are as people and what we do. I think that's been a real privilege to be able to listen to each of you today. And I hope that you had a good time. Did you have a good time? Very good. So yeah, let's give it up for all the courage displayed. I think some of what you were able to share with us today gives us that path towards inclusivity and inclusion and belonging, and really made more visible for us the things that work and how they impact each of you. So thank you for that. So, but I have the pleasure and the honor of recognizing each of you as leaders who've contributed to a greater and deeper understanding of neurodiversity. Your stories remind us that neurodiversity is a beautiful part of the human experience, and it's not something to be fixed or corrected or changed. It just is, and it is beautiful and part of who we are. So thank you again for your courage and honesty. And now I'm going to invite each of you by name. I'll call you by name and ask you to come forward. And then I'll ask you to stand next to me. If you're open, would love to shake your hand and thank you. And then I'm going to present you with a certificate. And then we're going to take a picture together. So we'll do this one at a time, and then I'll ask you each to stay and we'll do a group photo as well. Okay, so we're going to start with Heavenly. Heavenly, please come forward. right, and our next honoree is Axel. And our next honoree is Ben. Oh, Mara, please come forward. That's yeah. Hannah. And Leela. Right there. So if you're taller, you'll have to communicate a little bit, right? Like then between our. If we could have.
Let's get the camera out. Getting, oh, yes. Okay. Thank you, Rhonda. Right.
So congratulations once again to our superheroes, and back to you, Newport.
Thank you. In closing, I want to say that to parents, first of all, thank you for your hard work and your unwavering belief in their superhero abilities. It's not easy to be a superhero's parents. And I do want to thank to all the panelists today. You are advocating for those who cannot advocate for themselves, right? I hope this experience, you feel empowered and you go ahead and empower other students. Thank you all. Thank you, educators. And thank you, Inclusion Collaborative.